Good morning. Today is Mother's Day, and I was thinking about my mother. Years ago, my father and mother were both in a nursing home. And so every week I would go to visit my parents. And every week my mother would ask me, on Sunday, what did you preach about? So I would take the book of the Gospels and I would read the Gospel for that Sunday and then tell my mom and dad what I had talked about. Well, it happened one week. The Gospel for that Sunday is the same as the Gospel for this Sunday. And Jesus tells his apostles, I'm going to prepare a place for you and then I will come back. So I read the gospel, and when I was done, my mother started laughing. I said, Mom, what's funny? My mother looked at me and she said, that gospel is foolish. I said, what do you mean? My mother said, Jesus is not preparing a place for us. His mother prepares a place for us. That's what mothers do. You think when Jesus was growing up, he made his own bed? No. His mother, the Blessed Mother, she made his bed. Well, it's a funny story, a true story. But it made me think. In the first reading today, we have a story about the first few years of the Christian community that was in Jerusalem. And it happened that the apostles were preaching and teaching, and they're very busy. But some people came to the apostles and said, well, wait. We need to buy food, we need to cook it, we need to serve it to people who are poor. And the apostles were like, well, what do we do? So the story tells us the apostles chose 7 men to do that work. Those 7 were the first deacons of our church. Now, in our deaf community in Chicago, we had 2 deaf deacons, Ralph Hinch and Casey Franchek. In the hearing church at St. Francis Borgia, we had a wonderful deacon named Bill Lehman. And the deacons did that kind of work, caring for people, helping people, supporting people. Now, the apostles chose these 7 men. Were they really smart guys? Were they skilled at preaching or teaching? We don't know. But we know that those 7 were good workers and helped the community a lot. So it made me think about what's happening right now. Because right now, if you look at our community, who are the really important people? The politicians? Movie stars? Sports people? No. The really important people that we depend on are truck drivers. The people who are working at drugstores or food stores. The people who are stocking the shelves. The people who are mopping and cleaning and keeping the places safe. Those are the people right now who are really important. Yes, doctors, nurses, our police, our fire, of course. But these people who seem to have sort of no importance have become very important. In the second reading today, St. Peter uses a beautiful image. He says, there's a stone, and people are building this building, and they reject that stone. They think it's not important. But St. Peter says that stone becomes the cornerstone. It supports the entire building. Without that stone, the building collapses. And St. Peter says people looked at Jesus like, you're nothing. You're not important. But St. Peter says Jesus is like that stone that some people rejected, because Jesus becomes the support for the whole building, the whole community. And so today, I hope we will notice, especially notice those people who are serving us, maybe in a hidden way. And if we see that truck driver, if we're talking to the person in the store who's putting things on the shelves, the person who's mopping the floor, the person who serves us when we pay, that person, just say, thank you for your service. I'm really grateful for what you're doing. And when this situation hopefully goes away, don't forget, continue to remember who is really important, who makes our lives work and be successful. And lastly, when you arrive at heaven one day and you find your place prepared for you, as Jesus said, remember who prepared that place. And thank Happy Mother's Day.